Rockies. 15 of their 20 wins are of the road variety. But as the temperatures warm, the Rockies look forward to showing off that road metal to that strong legion of hometown purple. Colorado returns to Lodo, winners of 5 straight, a streak born of stingy starting pitching and timely blasts. Did Desmond clip it? You bet! He hit Desmond with his second bomb of the day. Tonight, they match up with a team led by perhaps the game's premier player and a teammate who used to wear that mantle. It promises to be can't-miss theater at 20th and Blake. Rockies, Angels, next. Good to be home in lower downtown Denver. And the home team has provided a lot of thrills already this year. They come into the park tonight 20-15 and second in the NL West. And the Angels are 21-13. They've played great baseball. They are leading the American League West by a game over the defending World Series champions, the Houston Astros. That is Big John Gray. He wears 55. That used to be the speed limit. It's nowhere near the speed limit of his fastball. He's making his 8th start. Huey's coming off 2 beautiful ones.
And it's really nice to see that start against Chicago. That was electric. 7 innings, 3 hits, 1 earned run. And that 1 earned run came on the very first pitch of the ball game where he gave up the home run. After that, that slider came back into prominence. Something that's been missing for John Gray. He was able to handle the left-handers, the right-handers. It didn't matter. You saw a kid that was really confident out on the hill, and that was good to see. Because I know the first 3 or 4 starts weren't what John was expecting, but now you look at him, and he's got that look in his eye again.
Yeah, he's been a joy to watch work the last couple. And he's going to face a veteran hitter, a guy who has a very strong resume, but he's off to a slow start so far, Ian Kinsler. And the first pitch is just inside ball 1. Kinsler, his last 12 games, 7 for 51, a 137 average. And he bounces this one right into the shift. That's DJ LeMahieu, and he throws to Ian Desmond. Second pitch of the night, a weak ground ball, 1 out. Let's take a look at the Angels lineup for Mike Scioscia tonight. Here comes Mike Trout, and he'll be followed by Justin Upton. They have a ton of talent. Albert Pujols, who just produced his 3,000th hit in Seattle a couple of days ago. Andrelton Simmons has really come on as an offensive threat. You always think of him as a glove. Zach Cozart, the former Red. Jabari Blash, former Padre. Martin Maldonado behind the plate, and the left-hander Andrew Haney. So here's Trout. Outside to Trout, ball 1.
This is one of the great things about interleague play, being able to see somebody like Mike Trout that we don't get to see on a regular basis. I think when you think about the top 5 players in the game, I mean, no matter who you ask, this guy's going to be.
He's going to be one
or two,
or maybe 2. You just don't. There's a strike. Hear anybody mention him really below that?
If you ask any fantasy league player, who's the first guy they're going to take?
They're going to take him.
Yeah.
Well, we talked to Buddy about that a little bit this afternoon. Here's the 2-1. Fouled off. And Buddy is always honest. And he said, for me, he's the best player in the game. And listen, he's got 2 guys on his team that are in that conversation. But he said this guy's number 1.
Well, I think what he adds is a little extra speed element.
Good pitch by Gray, pushing him off the plate at 97. 3-2 on Mike Trout. Out of Millville, New Jersey. And a ground ball to short. Into the shift again, and Story throws it across. I'll bring up Justin Upton as we take a look at the first bank starting defense for the Rockies. Parra, Blackman, and Noel Cuevas getting the start in right field. Great to see DJ back in there. The Gold Glover at second base, Story up the middle with him, Arenado and Desmond on the corners. Tony Walters has done a really fine job of handling John Gray. In fact, in 4 ball games that he has caught him, John has an ERA at 2.10. And Buddy was asked, is this going to be the battery the rest of the year? And he said, no, not necessarily. He said, but, you know, right now we're going to ride it a little bit.
And it's smart, too, because John's in a good place right now. So you want him to feel comfortable. Not that he wouldn't with Chris back there, but they just have that chemistry right now.
Good heater at 97. A little extra adrenaline flowing right now for Gray.
Sure. Because even, you know, the Angels are a little bit, you and I were talking about this on the field today while they were taking batting practice. They're a little bit like the Yankees now.
You know what? Absolutely, Huey. I mean, it's not just Trout, it's not just Pujols. Now you add Ohtani. Off the plate.
Plus the Angels are 13-3 out on the road.
And they've always been a popular team. Yeah, they began the year 11-1 on the road.
Well, they got some names in their lineup too. Good.
Yeah, listen, Justin Upton's always been a featured player on whatever club he's on, but you almost forget he's in their lineup. That just missed. Maybe had the top of the strike zone as you look at the Subaru strike zone. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
It is a beautiful night for some baseball. It's nice to come home and have some great weather.
And 3-2. Yeah, I mean, it's absolutely ideal.
See what John goes to. You think he goes to his fastball or that hard slider that he's found again?
He went slider, and it's ripped to left for a base hit. Well, that'll allow Albert Pujols to come up. Well, they acknowledged on the Jumbotron his 3,000th hit, and people are still making their way to their seats. So I don't think he got the ovation that he deserves.
Not when you're the 32nd guy in Major League history to record 3,000 hits. Let's say how hard it was hit, but 3,000 hits. Remarkable.
Here's the 0-1 to Albert, and a ground ball through the vacated right side. It's the first time I think I've ever seen you had 4 right-handed hitters come up, and the Rockies shifted on them all. You see the shift on left-handed batters.
Yeah.
That is a career hit number 3,002 now for Pujols, the 10-time All-Star and 3-time MVP. All of a sudden, a little traffic with 2 outs, and Andrelton Simmons has been maybe their most clutch performer, not only this year, but believe it or not, even last year offensively. He's driven in a lot of big runs for them.
So far, we've seen a pretty tight zone behind the plate by Jordan Baker, the home plate umpire.
Simmons, the second leading hitter to Mookie Betts in the American League with that 350 clip, and he's hitting 11 straight. And now hitters count 2-0.
John can get out of this because this year the first inning's been a bit of a sore spot for John with a 7.71 ERA in the first inning.
And he got Kinsler and Trout pretty quickly. Fastball on the corner, 2-1. Simmons won his 3rd career Gold Glove last year.
He's always been known for his glove.
Yeah, he won 2 with Atlanta. We talk a ton about his offense, but he's made himself a very formidable offensive player. And that's a break for Gray. And hit the bat, so it's 2-2 on a pitch that was way inside.
Hard to check your swing when it's 98 coming up by your neck.
It's also a scary thing for a hitter. Why don't you describe that, Huey? Because when you open up like that, you realize, oh my goodness, I've exposed my face to the baseball that's running at me.
Yeah, see how it just went off the knob or the handle, excuse me, off the bat of Simmons.
Make a pitch here, 2-2. Nope, downstairs with the slider, 3-2. Now you'll get movement with Upton at second and Pujols at first.
Also have the hardest guy to strike out right now in Simmons in the major leagues. It's 1K every almost 15 plate appearances.
Well, you don't talk about that statistic very
No,
frequently
right,
anymore.
not
All you
today's
talk about
game,
is
right?
the frequency of strikeouts. So here we go, 3-2 with 2 on and 2 outs. And now they're loaded up for Zach Cozart. 3 in a row have reached. That's something John doesn't do frequently. That's walk guys. His last 2 ball games, 17 strikeouts, just 2 walks.
That's just 11 walks overall now in 40 innings. Time now for the Pizza Ranch for the win. And it's find that mile-high magic. We know what the Rockies have done out on the road at 15-8, but they just haven't found their stride yet at home. 5-7. They're a little bit better their last 7 at 4-3. But it just seems like we've been packing and unpacking suitcases since spring training. And now it's, I mean, even with just this 6-game homestand, you're right back out on the road for another, what, 9 games.
So the Rockies have a road-heavy schedule, not only through April, but through the first half of May. Bases loaded for Cozart, swung on and missed.
He sold out, Cozart did, for the fastball.
That's where those scouting reports come in. Cozart has gotten hot lately after being mired in a 1-for-27 slump. Here's the 0-1. John's command was great in his outing against the Cubs. Wind blowing out and everything was down, 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 or up, above, well above the belt.
Really stayed on the line too in that game.
2-1.
We're talking about 25 pitches now when he had thrown just 8 pitches to retire the first 2 hitters.
Yeah, he's 95, 96. We've seen a lot of 97s and maybe just overamped. This is popped up and out of play. 2-2. Well, he was 2-2 on Simmons and ended up walking him. He got to 3-2 with 2 outs and Upton at the plate, and then Upton lined a base hit to left. Two. And he's gone full. Again, this time on Cozart, and there's nowhere to put him. Those infielders moving around, kicking dirt, trying to stay loose. It's easier to stay loose than it was the last time the Rockies were home. After all, it's 76 degrees, but they've been out there for a little bit now. Swung on and missed, and Gray works out of it. He gets Cozart with the bases loaded. We'll see DJ LeMahieu and company when we come back. Rockies activated DJ LeMahieu today, and maybe a little bit of a surprise, or maybe not. Pat Vallejo, who's really struggled this year after a terrific year last year, was optioned to Albuquerque. And talking to Buddy Black earlier, he said he just needed to get at-bats. He needs to get at-bats every day and get some things ironed out offensively, which you assume he will, and I'm sure he'll be back with the Rockies in the not-too-distant future. DJ back in there after being on the disabled list for the first time in his baseball career, really at any level.
Yeah, and talking to DJ over the weekend, he was antsy. He was ready to go. He said, I don't know what to do with my time.
And he is going to hit at the top of this lineup, as he was prior to getting hurt. But he kind of likes the idea of going DJ Charlie. Not that it's bad going Charlie DJ. That worked pretty well, too.
Pick either name out of the hat and be fine.
Andrew Haney is ahead 0-2. Primarily fastball changeup with Haney. He will throw a curveball, and his last couple of starts, despite the high ERA, have been pretty good.
Yeah, 6 innings, 5 hits, 1 earned run. Just a couple strikeouts in that start against Baltimore.
And DJ a line drive, but right at Ian Kinsler. So that'll bring up Charlie. Let's take a look at our first bank Angels defense. They have a great one in Simmons at shortstop. The outfield, Upton, Trout, and Blash. There's Mike Trout in center field. Those are Simmons, Kinsler, and Pujols in the infield. Pujols has dropped about 15 pounds from last year. Though the feet aren't good, he's moving better than he did really the last couple of years.
Well, he knew that he was going to have to play first base a lot more with Ohtani being on the ball club. Ohtani was going to DH and obviously pitch every 6th day.
Two strikes on Blackman. Well, a lot of fans wondering, would Ohtani play in the series against the Rockies? The only way he'll play is if he pinch hits. He's not playing the field. He just pitched on Sunday, pitched well, 2 runs over 6 innings and beating the Mariners 8-2. In fact, even going back to his time in Japan, he has not been in the field, as this is in the air to Trout in center. Ohtani has not been in the field since 2014. And the way it works for Ohtani is they've been keeping him on once a week, almost like a college Friday night starter. He's pitching about once a week, and then the next day after he pitches, he's off. He does, even if they're playing, he won't DH. Then he'll DH up until the day before his next start.
Well, that pitching schedule is kind of what they have over in Japan. So that allows him to continue to do what he did over there.
For both of these clubs, there is a lack of familiarity other than tape and scouting reports with the respective starters. Haney hasn't really seen many of the Rockies, and most of the Angels have not seen John Gray. Down to third, and an easy play for Cozart, and a 1-2-3 beginning for Andrew Haney. We'll go to the second, no score. And it'll be 7, 8, and 9 for the Angels. They loaded the bases, did not score against John Gray in the first. Time for the Lowe's whole team together. Well, the last 11 games, the Rockies starters have a combined 171 ERA, led by Gray's 069. And the first pitch to the giant Jabari Blash from the U.S. Virgin Islands is a strike.
The only reason they don't have 11 quality starts is because Tyler Anderson had to lead the one game.
He'd got an inning and a third, then was having some breathing difficulties. That was down in Miami. Two strikes on Blash, using a big leg kick now. It's inside. He was tearing up the PCL when he was called up. One of the reasons he was called up is Cole Calhoun. Normally a fixture in their lineup, other than when they play lefties, has really been mired in a bad slump. There's a good pitch. Swung on and missed. Second strikeout for Big John.
Kind of put Cole Calhoun in timeout. Just let him clear his mind. Try to get his swing right.
Third straight game that he's been out of the lineup. Cole is 5 for his last 58 since April the 13th. Saw those stats for the Rocky starters. That 171 ERA, best in baseball during those 11 games. The opposition hitting 184. I love the whip. 085. Second best in baseball. No traffic. This is slowly hit from Maldonado. Trevor's there. 2 outs. And that'll bring up the former Oklahoma State Cowboy Andrew Haney.
So you got an Oklahoma State Cowboy facing an Oklahoma Sooner right now. They're both 26 years of age. Went to rival schools.
And they're both natives of Oklahoma.
Andrew from Oklahoma City.
Yeah, he's from Oak City. Went to Putnam City West. Well, both had storied careers. John obviously in Norman, and Andrew Haney up in Stillwater. His junior year at Stillwater, his draft year, he was a unanimous first-team All-American. Haney led the nation in strikeouts that year with 140.
Let's see why it was unanimous then.
Yeah. Two and two. And that's strike three. So a nice bounce back inning for John Gray. Limited the pitch numbers and got 3 consecutive outs. Middle of 2, no score. Trevor Story will be first up when we return.
Second inning. It is a Toyota Talk 25, and we're looking at some of the top 25 Rockies of all time. Tonight is number 21, Pedro Estacio. We asked Pedro, tell us about the moment you found out the Dodgers were trading you to Colorado. It's always a surprise to get that kind of news, but then when I got used to the idea, I thought that was an opportunity to develop as a pitcher. I wanted to pitch and show how good I was, and I got that because Colorado pitched me every 5 days, and I can do my job as a starting pitcher. Pretty incredible when you look back and seeing that Pedro Estacio traded for a great fan favorite, Eric Young, to the Dodgers, and he ended up being a fan favorite with the Rockies for everything he did in his time here. Guys?
Yeah, he was special. He was the ultimate tough guy on the hill. And he is still around the organization, still works for the organization. Always lights up a room when he's around. That's the first ball thrown by Andrew Haney. His first inning, he had 8 pitches, all strikes. Ball 1 on Trevor Story. You know, the Rockies are just 6-9 against left-handed starters this year, and the reason it's a little surprising, as this is fouled off, is that their numbers offensively are much better against lefties than righties, and yet they're well above 500 against righties.
Right. And who knows some of the reasons why these numbers are, but I think when you look back, or you're in August and you're looking back to today, you'll see those numbers different.
2-1, good take. Rockies 14-6 against right-handed starters.
And he's a little bit of a crossfire where he'll step. He's on the extreme first base side of the rubber, and then he'll step more towards first base and then throw around that right leg. Sometimes those guys are hard to pick up. I think for Haney, you have to look for the ball up, because he will throw the ball up. If it's down, it could be that changeup that really just fades at the end. Not afraid either to pitch inside with a couple strikes. This is the slurve.
No swing, 3-2. Home plate umpires Jordan Baker. Jerry Lane at first base. They just checked with Jerry is the crew chief. Greg Gibson's at second. Jansen Visconti is the umpire at third. Jordan Baker, Mike Scioscia conversing there for a moment. I'm sure Mike thought he went around. Here's the 3-2. And there's ball 4. So now the Rockies have Story heading to first base, leading off the second inning. What a day for Ian Desmond on Sunday. It's been a rough ride for him the last 4 weeks, but this was special. And it is part of our Mako big hits, plural, because he hit 1 early and then he hit 1 late.
First one was off of Noah Syndergaard, and then the second one was off Hansel Robles. But the key, 2 right-handers.
Got the bat head out too.
Yeah.
Big swing and a miss there.
Even during batting practice today, you could just see that there was a little difference in the swing.
Yeah, and he's done damage against lefties, hitting .279 against lefties, just .135 right on right. That's why it was so good to see those 2 home runs, regardless of what side they were pitching from. But the fact that they were hard throwing righties. Outside, 1-1.
And he's tough to run on. A slide step guy. There's been no stolen base attempts against him this year, and only 7 in his career.
Yeah, slide step lefty's almost impossible to run on. Desmond calls time. He's a career .302 hitter against the Angels in 96 at bats. First interleague series of the year. And the Rockies are trying to snap a 9-game losing streak against the Angels.
Angels are 11-2 all time at Coors Field. Scioscia's been at the helm for 19 years now for the Angels.
Longest tenured manager in baseball. He was telling us a humorous story before the game we'll get to in a moment. 1-2 on Desmond. Story at first. And a called strike 3.
Catch the top of the Subaru strike zone.
That'll bring up Gerardo Parra. So Scioscia, when he first took the job, was living in Westlake Village. It was about 75 miles down to Anaheim, and he had a young family. And he told his wife Ann, he said, "Listen, we're staying put. We love where we live. We love the house, the neighborhood, everything about the kids' school, everything. We're settled." He said, "I'll just I'll make that trek." He said, "Because you're big league manager." He goes, "I may be done in a year, 2 or 3 years." The way they flip them out these days. So we're not moving. 19 years later, man, he's been making that trek
so you say he's bought a lot of new tires.
Well, listen, the kids he used to run to their elementary school and deliver them lunch so he could see him midday after taking them to school very early in the morning. They're all out of the house now. They could take dad lunch at the ballpark.
Said they did buy another place, though, a little closer. They still have the regular house.
Yeah, so he doesn't have to go back and forth every day.
Night.
Gerardo with a 1-strike count. Parra's been swinging the bat. So I think many of you know that Buddy Black worked for Mike Scioscia. In fact, part of the 02 World Championship Angels team. Buddy was Mike's pitching coach. They're very, very, very close friends.
Think about that staff. Joe Madden was the bench coach on that staff, and you had Ron Renicky.
It was a great staff, and sometimes Mike would get caught up in traffic. LA traffic, right? Getting to the ballpark, and they had a 2:30 meeting every day, staff meeting. That's high. And You know, Buddy tells a story. He said, you know, Mike every once in a while would say, hey guys, I'm stuck on the 405 or wherever he was, and he said, I'm not going to get there till about 245, 250. You guys, you know what to do. Start the meeting and what. So he already called in the lineup. Well, those guys would put up a different lineup on the board. They would mess with him every time he wasn't there at 230. And strike 3 on par. That's right there. So the Rockies not picking up Andrew Haney. 2 outs. Story still at first. That'll bring up Noel Cuevas. Let's take a look at a snapshot of that coaching staff from the 2002 World
Mickey
Champion
Hatcher's
Angels.
on that. Mickey's right behind Joe Madden, who's in the front there. Mickey, people know him with his Dodger days, but he was the hitting coach. Bobby Ramos on the left of the screen, to the right of Mike Scioscia. Pick up a couple of the other guys. Oh, there's Ron Renicky.
Cuevas pops this one foul, and Maldonado looking for an opportunity, does not have one. When Buddy was let go by the Padres, the Angels swooped in and picked him up again to be a special assistant. So he has a long attachment to the Angels, and in conversing with him earlier this afternoon, it's a little different still for him. Even though he's managed against the Angels many times, it's still different when he sees that uniform.
I think anytime you win a championship with the team, there's going to be a difference.
And so many close ties over there, because there hasn't been a lot of shakeup on Scioscia's staff over the years. I mean, Dino Ebel still at third base, Alfredo Griffin at first base. You know, Charles Nagy is pitching coach. Buddy's very close with Charles as well.
That's the thing, when you find something, when you find that camaraderie even between the coaches, you'll keep those guys intact for a long time. And as long as Scioscia's been there, he hasn't had to change out too many times.
No. 2 strikes on Cuevas. Noel did a nice job on that road trip, didn't he, Huey?
Oh, it was fun to watch the series in Chicago, and then the other day getting the start in New York. We were discussing his base hit to right field, that 4 or 5 hopper through the right side, but he earned that one after the line drive that was caught in right center field. That was on Saturday night.
And this is back toward Haney. He flips to first. That's all for the Rockies in the second. Story, who walked leading off the inning, left aboard. We'll go to the third. No score. We have a very special guest we're really excited about. He brought a little hardware with him also. Kenny Perry, who needs no introduction, the U.S. Senior Open champion from a year ago, and you bring
That's
us wherever
heavy.
you go. You put the. Let me
That's
ask
only
you.
half of it.
That's only half of it.
Yeah, there's a big base that has rings that go around. It's got all the names of all the players who've won the Senior Open. You know, you got Nicholas Player, Palmer. You got some great names on this trophy.
And your name is on there also, so that is terrific. First pitch to Ian Kinsler's in there for a strike to begin the top of the third inning. What I want to know, this is really important. In your favorite automobile, you have the cup holders. Does this thing fit in there for the morning coffee?
Not quite, not quite. But you can put a lot of beverages in it. You know, when you're celebrating.
Kind of like Stanley Cup, then, right?
Exactly.
There you go.
I think it's too big to fit in my bag.
We have the little replicas. Yeah, we have the little replicas. That works. Kenny, how's the game right now?
You know, it's I've only played one tournament. That was last week. I had shoulder surgery November the 17th. Been out 6 months and finished 5th last week. So good start to my season. And we start our majors next week. We head to the regions down in Birmingham, Alabama next week, and then we play the Senior PGA the next. And I'm going to go play Memorial, and I'll play the regular U.S. Open along with the Senior U.S. Open. And so I'll head back here end of July, 1st June, and hopefully go to the Broadmoor and defend.
So you're playing 7 straight weeks then?
I am. I'm going to play 7 in a row. I've got to catch up. You know, when you set out all season, it's time to get back to work.
I'm trying to remember when you were on the regular tour, you were one of those guys. You were a grinder. I mean, you played a lot.
You know, I'd play up to 30 events a year, and we have 44 tournaments. You know, so you know, I was trying to get as much as I could get and take care of my wife and 3 kids. So, you know, we don't get flown around, and we have to pay for our hotel and our caddies and our rental cars, and so, you know, we don't get those big contracts. They do nowadays, though. So some of those young kids out on the PGA Tour, they're very well off.
I want to go back to last year because you had a remarkable Open. I mean, 264, 16 under, beat Hale Irwin score. You said it was kind of like a magical week for you. What was working? Everything?
You know, it's funny with me. My ball striking has always been okay, and my short game is always what let me down. And the weeks that the putter wakes up, maybe I'm cross-eyed and I can see the line or something. I don't know what the deal is with my putter, but when my putter shows up, I'm very competitive. And that week it was very easy. It seemed to be.
There seems to be 2 kinds of players: those that keep the same putter for a generation, and those that go through 3 putters a weekend.
Like Arnold. Arnold's got a bag full of when I went down to his shop. It was incredible. And you can look at like Ben Crenshaw. He used that little 8802 forever. But I'm a tinkerer. I like to I mix and match. And the putter I won with this year, last year's Open with, I got on Wednesday night.
Is that right?
It sure did.
Oh,
I picked it up Wednesday night, and I said, "This feels pretty good. I'm going to try to use it on Thursday."
You got to be kidding. That's what we do. We're a bunch of hackers.
We'll trade putters.
You know, I've gone to like Golf Superstore or whatever, and I'll go in there and I'll buy a putter and I'll actually put it in play the next day in a turn. It's funny. You know, golfers are crazy. We got wild ideas about stuff.
Sound like a
that is
baseball
interesting.
player grabbing somebody else's bat.
That is wild. Hey, listen, here's the good news. We hope you defend. We know you're going to give it everything you have in late June, early July. That's strike 3 on Justin Upton. But Kenny, you can't have a bad weekend down at the Broadmoor. That is the best hotel in the world.
You know what? I've never been there. I flew in here late Sunday night, and they put me in a suite there, and I didn't know where I was, what was going on. I opened the curtains, and I was like, oh, my goodness, I'm not in Kentucky anymore. This place is beautiful.
It is special. Hey,
Good luck
Kenny,
to you.
best of luck to you, man. It's great to see you. Kenny Perry, defending U.S. Senior Champ. Back in a moment.
let you know when we're on.
We welcome you back to Coors Field. Big thank you to Kenny Perry for coming by. The first pitch was outside ball one on Tony Walters facing Andrew Haney. The Rockies have just one base runner through the first 2 innings. That was a leadoff walk last frame by Trevor Story.
That was fun to have him. You could just, it's one of those guys that you would just.
Fun to be around.
Fun to play 18 holes with. I mean,
Yeah.
he would school you, but it'd be fun.
Well, he better school you. I mean, that's what he's been doing for a
but I
living
mean,
long time.
just like really school you,
Yeah.
not just you know, a few strokes here and there.
You know what? I find it fascinating that he would literally, with his putter, go and buy a putter on a Wednesday and put it in his bag for Thursday morning. You kidding me? This is bounced through the left side. Simmons, as wonderful a fielder as he is not going to be able to throw out Tony on that. So a base hit for Walters, and John Gray will try to sacrifice him along.
Like the story, remember when Tulo went to go buy that bat at the Big Five or whatever it was?
That's a great story, and if you hadn't heard it, Troy was in a little bit of a slump, and he was in his hometown. He's from just south of San Francisco, but he was in a slump, and you know, players, you know, superstitious, they'll do anything to get a knock. So he went to the store and bought his favorite player was Derek Jeter. He bought a Derek Jeter model bat. That bunt's foul. And he told us about it before the game. And he said, "Hey, don't show the bat though." And in his third at bat, his first 2 at bats, he made outs. And I'm thinking, this bat's going to 95 miles, is going to blow up, right? It's you know, it's not Major League wood. His third at bat, he clicks a home run at AT&T. And I'm like, oh my goodness! And we zoomed in on the bat off line, which means not for the public to see. And he had switched out. That's a great bunt. Good job by John. Albert's got it, and flipped to Kinsler. And now the Rockies have a runner in scoring position for DJ LeMahieu. But yeah, he did that. He took 2 Major League at bats with the bat he bought at a Big Five store that afternoon. And Spilly, I think you were with the Rockies at that point in time, am I right?
Yes, I was still with him, and not to be Tommy Topper, but when he was in San Francisco, one of the old clubbies that was there, Harvey Hadrajani, had a bat signed by Pete Rose, and Tulo goes back there. There's a bunch of bobbleheads, and he sees this Pete Rose bat. He's like, "Harvey, do you mind if I just swing this bat?" And he's like, "Yeah, sure, whatever." He used it in a game. Buster Posey saw it at home plate with the autograph of Pete Rose hit king on it.
No way.
And the hit was off Barry Zito. I can look up the video.
Oh my.
Can you imagine if he broke that thing?
Oh gosh.
Oh, could you imagine if he broke it? No, he did not break it, but it was a ball off the end of the bat.
Wow, close to breaking it then, huh? Hey, I got some good news and bad news. I got a knock. The bad news is, you know, that bat that's probably worth something to you, that's got Pete's autograph on it, no good anymore. The Rockies have an opportunity here to score the first marker. 1 out. Walters at second. DJ had a soft liner to Kinsler in his first look at Andrew Haney.
Remember on Sunday, Jew, we were remarking how Juan Lagares was playing so shallow. Look how deep Mike Trout's playing.
Yeah, different philosophy. DJ is one of the guys who's seen Haney. He's 3 for 5 against him, in fact. He takes a strike there, and the guy on deck, Charlie Blackmon, is also 3 for 5 against Haney. Comfortable with 2 strikes, or at least more comfortable than most baseball playing humans.
Yeah, most are their knees start to shake.
Yeah. Oh, and 2. And a base hit. Walters got a good read. He'll get a green light. He'll score easily. as Jabari kicks it over to Mike Trout, who has the better arm. 1-0 Colorado.
Not by design.
Not by design.
They got lucky. Welcome back, DJ.
What a missing cornerstone he was the last 10 days. So the Rockies have played great baseball in his absence.
Super Mo. It's a foot down, hands separate, just punches it out to right field. So far, the Rockies now 1 for 1 on the evening with runners in scoring position. They were just 15 for 72 on this past road trip and just 225 overall on the year. Good start for Colorado and DJ coming back.
And here's Charlie, hit a fly ball to fairly deep center field his first time. And he hits this ball in the air to shallow left, and Upton will come up and make the catch. 2 outs. As Nolan approaches, we have breaking baseball news. My best newscaster voice. How about this? James Paxton, that hard-throwing left-hander, a native of Canada, in Toronto tonight at the Rogers Center. He no-hit the Blue Jays.
Did he really?
7 strikeouts, just 3 walks, 99 pitches. There it is, 5-0. That's a no-no.
Not surprising. We saw him last year, and he was probably, if not the best pitcher, the second best pitcher we saw all of last year.
Yeah, I would say at least the performance that he had against the Rockies. He had unhittable stuff inside on Nolan. So Paxton no-hits Toronto just a few days after the Dodgers had the combined no-hitter down in Monterrey, Mexico over the Padres. Padres will bounce back and win the next 2 ball games down in Monterrey.
Yes, they did.
Nolan, a ground ball to third his first time up. Inside. DJ missed the minimum of 10 days with the slight strain of the hamstring. Same thing with Cargo. He missed 10 days with a mild hamstring. Rockies training staff, Keith Duggar, Scotty Garrett getting out in front of it.
And I think too, with just a 4-man bench, you can't afford to go 3 or 4 days while you're trying to nurse something along. You know, if you have 5 guys on your bench, you might have been able to do it. But it's also smart for Doogie and Scotty, those guys, to just say, hey, I'm taking the reins away from you. I'm going to go ahead and control when you come back, because you'll push it more than you probably should.
All athletes do. 3-0 on Nolan. And ball 4. So that'll push LeMahieu to second, and up comes Trevor Story. He walked leading off the second inning. Trevor, 7 home runs, 21 driven in. Trout actually shaded towards right center with Trevor. Tonight is game number 36 for the Rockies, and Trevor Story has started every game.
Yeah, prior to DJ going on the disabled list, those 2 guys were the only 2 that had done that.
Story last year hit .325 at Coors Field. And this is at Simmons. He flips to Kinsler. In the inning, the Rockies got a leadoff base hit from Walters, and after a sac bunt, he would score on a LeMahieu base hit. 1-0 Colorado.
Top of the fourth, John Gray on the mound. It is a Toyota Talk takeover. 25, we're looking at number 21, Pedro Estacio. We asked him, what is your favorite moment with the Rockies? It was the first game I pitched at Coors Field, '97. It was a special moment. Standing ovation when I left the mound in the 8th, and better yet, the team won, and he also won the Best Pitcher of the Month award. Pretty good debut for Pedro Estacio, guys.
Yeah, I enjoyed watching him work as Albert Pujols has to move out of the way of an inside fastball. Pujols leading off in the 4th inning. After there were 2 outs in the first, John gave up a couple of singles, then walked Simmons. He was 3-2 on Cozart and struck him out. And since that point, he has retired 8 in a row, or excuse me, 7 in a row. 1 ball, 1 strike on Pujols.
4 strikeouts of those 7.
Albert punched a single to right. Career hit 3002. That also is in there. Did I say 3002? 3003. Poor guy's done all that work, and I'm shorting him hits. 1 and 2. And he's gone. Another strikeout for John Gray. That's 5.
So he comes back, and we'll see it right out of the grip on the Subaru Supermo. This is the new slider that's coming out of the hand. And he's taking a little bit of velocity off of it, so it's now 89. Early in the year, we see a lot of 91s and 92s with the slider, a little too hard, and acted more like a cutter.
Holding it a little deeper in his hand. This is going to be a tough chance for LeMahieu. Stop it! What a play by DJ! I guess the leg's just fine.
That's fine.
And the glove never had a bad day.
And John was congratulating DJ. Well, if there was any question if he was healthy, it was answered right here. Because if you make this quick, sudden movement and then have to slide, stop, and pop up and make a throw, that would tweak it if it was still in there. It's not. On the Subaru Supermo, watch the right foot get in the ground, and then it helps to have the arm strength of a former shortstop.
That pitch misses to Zach Cozart. That is a gorgeous play.
Watch this. Just get it. And then I like how he not only throws it, but it's right on the money. All Desi has to do is got to reach for it.
Yeah, DJ is a former shortstop, but Huey, nowadays, because of all the shifting and shading that takes place, it's imperative that guys practice the arm angle from those various spots, isn't it?
Excellent point. Yeah, because we'll see DJ, during batting practice, he'll slide over to the other side of shortstop. He'll make plays on the run. He'll take balls deep in right field as if he's playing back against a pole hitter where he hit it to the line and he's got to make a sidearm throw. So all those throws are practiced.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Cozart struck out to end the first with the bases loaded. Man, he's fun to watch play defense. There's a few of those guys out there. The guy he robbed's a wizard. That's Simmons. This guy's pretty good. Overhand throw. And that wonderful infield defense on display behind John Gray. John's now retired 10 straight. 1-0 Rockies. Go to participating Colorado Taco Bell locations the next day between 4 and 6 to get your Rockies Taco Special. Liv Moss at Taco Bell with Ryan Spilborghs, who's out in center field hosting our Tuesday night coverage, and Jeff Houston. I'm Drew Goodman. Andrew Haney to Ian Desmond, and it's cued toward first. This could be tough, but Pujols able to get there in time to flip it to Haney, 1 out.
This is the 20th game for Albert at first base this year. Last year, he only had 6 games there. In 2016, had 28 games. This communication, this PFPs you work on in spring training. And that ball had some sideways spin on the Subaru Supermo. Underhand flip to Haney and put out of the way.
So here's Parra. He struck out looking his first time. He had a nice road trip. 10 for 26, 385 average. It's outside. So Andrew Haney, after that great junior year at Oklahoma State, was the 9th pick of the first round. This ball down the left field line and deep. Up there. Seems to go out of play. The Marlins grabbed him with the 9th pick in 2012, and then he was traded to the Dodgers for like a minute and a half. He was part of that D. Gordon trade. There were a lot of guys involved. Dan Herron late in his career was part of that trade. The Dodgers kept him, folks, literally for 5 hours. They had a deal set up with the Angels, and they sent him to the Angels for Howie Kendrick.
Now I wonder if he knew about all that, you know, from his agent, saying, hey, I know you were just traded, but hang on, don't go buy a whole lot of luggage with Dodger stuff on it.
Yeah.
Because you're going to be an
listen,
Angel.
Don't fly to LAX. We're going to send you to Orange County.
Right. So maybe that guy got all of Andrew Haney's stuff, his hat, his jersey.
Probably right. Two and 2 on Parra. And once again, Haney fielding his position. He'll run to the bag himself. Noel Cuevas coming up.
2 of my favorite groups, Def Leppard and Journey, are going to be performing here at Coors Field on Saturday, July 21st. You don't want to miss your chance to watch them, Drew. Tickets are still available at Rockies.com/concert.
See, you rarely lie. I'm buying you on the Journey.
I've seen Def Leppard.
But I just don't see you as a Def Leppard guy.
I saw them at Cheyenne Frontier Days.
And now you're a huge fan.
I thought they were still as good as they were. I mean, you know,
they were a good band,
right?
No question. I just figured you would be more of a Journey guy.
I do like Journey.
I like Journey.
But I said July 20th. That's right after the All-Star break.
That'll be a lot of fun. Big night. Last year Zach Brown was here. Last couple of years Zach Brown was here. Downstairs, 2-1. Haney, like so many pitchers, has been through a Tommy John surgery. His occurred in July of 2016. And this ball line to center field. Stay hot, Noel Cuevas.
Nine for 26.
He's doing a really nice job.
He's providing some right-handed bat off the bench. Subaru Supermo. That's a good swing.
Well, again, he's a toolsy kid. You and I were talking to Ron Gideon who handles a lot of the outfield play for the Rockies. And he said Cuevas plays an outstanding center field.
Yeah, gets great jumps on the ball. The routes is what he really emphasized.
Walters bounced one through the left side that Simmons knocked down in the third inning, and he would eventually come around to score. John Gray got a great bunt down, and then behind in the count, DJ LeMahieu served a line drive single to right. Two and 0. Rockies trying to make it 6 consecutive wins. Won 3-2 on Sunday in New York. And a great outing from Kyle Freeland. One great start after another. The better part of 2 weeks.
All 5 of the wins you're talking about have all been won by the starter.
Line drive. Simmons will get there. So Cuevas is left aboard. We move to the 5th inning. The Rockies leading 1-0 behind Big John Gray. Baseball on AT Sportsnet is brought to you by the 2018 Toyota Tundra in your hometown Toyota stores and by Wells Fargo. Wells Fargo customers get your 2-for-1 Rockies club level tickets by visiting wellsfargo.com/Rockies. Mike Shanahan in attendance tonight as the Rockies leading the Angels 1-0. Somehow weaseled some good tickets right behind home plate.
Huh. Funny how that works out.
Yeah. Good to see Coach Shanahan. Jabari Blash will lead things off in the 5th inning. He struck out on a slider away his first time up. 10 straight retired by the Gray Wolf. And this is a bouncing ball into the shift. DJ's got it. 1 out. And this is somewhat similar now to what we saw in Chicago from the standpoint of a ton of ground balls.
That's 8 so far tonight for John.
The catcher Martin Maldonado. Some other baseball news. You see where Matt Harvey was traded by the Mets for, speaking of catchers, to the Reds for Devin Mesoraco. Mets need catchers. I guess Cincinnati's going to take a flyer on Matt Harvey.
But now, since trading for him, they pick up his contract.
Exactly, and he makes $5.6 million this year. unless the Mets kicked in some money, which they may have. Well, not so fast, Dougie says, because Mesoraco's making 13+ million.
Is he really?
Yeah. So
sorry,
they're now plus 8
sorry,
million
Devin.
in that little transaction. 1-0. That's in there. 1-1 on Maldonado.
No idea who was making that. I thought it would have been an even swap.
Well, I'll tell you what, Mesoraco just moved up in the standings.
A long ways.
Reds, they're in rebuilding mode. 8-27 coming into play.
Well, but they've done it. You know, they've been fair. Because with the 8 wins, they've won 4 at home and 4 on the road.
And you know, the Reds are hosting the Mets right now.
Oh, are they?
Yeah, and they're actually winning tonight 7-2 over New York in the 8th inning. Here's the 1-2 on Maldonado. That's almost deal. Was it Joe Youngblood who switched teams in the middle of the doubleheader?
Doubleheader with
Fellas,
the Cubs.
I loved you. Well, I'm going to try to beat your brains in next, and I'm leaving.
And then I think he did get a hit the next game against his other club.
How strange is that?
That's really weird.
Go from one clubhouse to the other in the middle of the afternoon. 2-2. Sliders down 3-2. Rockies have lost 9 straight to the Angels. We mentioned that. They've lost 8 straight at Coors Field against the Angels. Maldonado, a base hit. And that ends a string of 11 straight retired by Gray. So this is the first interleague series for the Rockies, and the National League, which has not won the interleague series with the American League since 2004, leads in the early going this year, 24-13.
Trying to change that.
Haney pulls the bat back, and it was right down the middle.
Season, no average. This was just his first at bat. He is now 1 for 14 in his career.
Put the slug bunt on. Buddy was asked today, it came up because of Ohtani, naturally, you know, what kind of hitter he was. He said, you know, I would never, oh no, the question was to Buddy, at what point did you stop being a good hitter? And he said, well, he goes, at no point did I consider myself a good hitter. Nobody was being somewhat self-deprecating, because when he was at San Diego State, he got to swing the bat some, so he could handle the bat. But he said, you know, my sophomore year in college, hopefully Tony's all right. Haney, a strikeout victim, bunting with 2 strikes. Doogie coming out. How do you feel? Miserable. Well,
Just checking on you.
in a couple of moments, you'll just feel bad. Here's Ian Kinsler for the 3rd time. He's hit it on the ground to the left side twice. DJ is going to move to the left side of the infield. On the inside corner, 0-1 on Kinsler.
Caught a break there on the Subaru strike zone, calling that one a strike.
This is looped to DJ. He'll make the catch. And Maldonado left it first. John Gray rolls on. We'll go to the bottom of the 5th. The Rockies up 1-0. Baseball is brought to you by T-Mobile, the work of Pedro Estacio on June the 6th, 1999. Can you imagine this taking place today?
No.
He threw a Colorado Rockies record 153 pitches against Milwaukee. Jim Leland saying, you know what, that's enough.
Remember when he was up in the booth? Was it earlier this homestands? Was that last year? Earlier this year, one of the times we had him up here, and he was talking about that. Said, when I got the baseball, I thought I was just going to have to throw one more pitch than the other guy.
Yeah.
There was no question about pitch counts or anything. That was just the error.
And he didn't worry about ERA.
No.
He just worried about winning the baseball game and keeping the other team with one less run than the Rockies had. Ball and a strike on Gray. Got a bunt down his first time up to move Walters to scoring position. That's a big play in this game because DJ got a base hit to bring Walters in. That's the only run. 1-2 on Gray. Both teams with just 3 hits. And Haney with a fastball strikes out John Gray. That is the 3rd strikeout for Haney. To center field we go. Here's Spilly.
Guys, you talk about certain players and you look at their numbers. Sometimes you're only as good as your teammates say you are. And in this case with Pedro Estacio, here's a good person to say that you're good. Todd Helton on Pedro Estacio. He was a battler, gritty. He wouldn't back down. He could give up 3 runs early. You'd never know it. He'd be out there battling until we got him back in the game. He had a lot of good wins that way. It's pretty special when you hear your teammates saying what type of character you are. You always want to be considered a grinder, and that is exactly what Pedro Estacio was. Guys?
He was a grinder, and he won 17 games one season for the Rockies. Here's DJ. 0-1, and he's kept him off balance. On the accelerator, off the accelerator. He's had to field his position frequently today. 2 outs. That'll bring up Blackman, who's hit a fly ball to center and a fly ball to left. Charlie came into the ball game 3 for 4 lifetime against Haney.
Hi.
Saying hi to us again, Spilly, or
Saying hi to the fans
Yeah,
walking
okay.
by. I
That's
feel like
nice.
I'm on a pageant float up here.
Are you giving your best wave?
Of course I am. Hello.
doing the Queen's wave?
Is it elbow, elbow? Like is wrist, wrist, elbow, elbow?
That's yeah, that's it. Just
I'm not
a
sure.
little more, a little
There
more
it is.
subtle than
Yeah.
that.
Oh, hello. I need a white glove.
Did you get your invitation to the royal wedding, by the way?
I invite myself, so they don't need to send me invitations.
I see.
Come on. Yeah. Hello.
That's getting a lot of acknowledgement, aren't you?
I mean, if I wave loud or yell loud enough, I could probably get some people to say hi. I don't need the attention, Drew. Come on.
3-0 outside and a 4-pitch walk to Blackman. And that'll allow Nolan to hit here in the 5th.
Well, fans, Rockies baseball is always live with the MLB at Bat mobile app. You can stay connected all season with video highlights, stats, news, and much, much more. Now it's time to make Andrew pay for that walk.
Interesting thing about Haney this year, he's given up only 3 home runs. And he's pulled the string there. Nolan's out front. But they all came in the same game against the Giants.
And all 3 were right-handed batters.
Ground ball to third and a walk for Arenado. Nolan grew up not too far from the Big A in Anaheim. He went to a ton of games growing up, though his #1 team was the Dodgers.
A lot easier to get to the Anaheim Stadium.
A whole lot easier to get to Anaheim.
Watch it.
1 and 2.
Look how far. It almost didn't make the Subaru strike zone. That's how far inside it was.
Ball and 2 strikes on Nolan. Blackman will dive back in on the Maldonado pick attempt. Nolan hitting .390 against lefties this year. There are the splits. Say he went. Nolan's now barking at Jerry Lane. He didn't think he broke his broke the plane of the plate. 1-0 going to the 6th. Trout will lead it off. Trout, Upton, and Pujols here in the 6th against John Gray. Here's a comparison of center fielders. Mike Trout, who's looked upon as the best player in the game. Look at his numbers in comparison to Charlie Blackmon the last couple of years. Batting average, Charlie a slight advantage. Runs scored, an advantage to Charlie. Go back to it as that pitch misses. Home runs, 77, 71, Charlie. The ribbies, Trout walks a ton. We went back to 2015, stolen bases. Charlie was 77, Mike Trout was 69. It's not to take anything away from Mike Trout, because people pitch around him all the time, and when you look at his WAR, it's tops in baseball. This guy is the premier player. It's more to celebrate just how good Charlie Blackmon is. 2-0, and that's in there, 2-1.
Just to give Charlie a little due. I mean, he's made the All-Star team, and he's now he has one of those recognizable names, and it's not just Coors Field, all that. But when you put it up against Trout numbers, it carries a little more weight.
2-2. And short of say a Ryan Spilborghs, he has maybe the most recognizable beard now in baseball.
No, Charlie still has him beat by miles.
Oh, he does?
Yeah, I think Spilly might have to get rid of his.
No, I'm not getting rid of it.
2-2. Oh, that looked pretty good.
Well, it was a strike on the Subaru strike zone, but just how it was received, because it didn't hit its location.
Don't tell Buddy that.
I know. I'm just telling you what happened. It's not that I agree with it.
Here's the 3-2. Hot shot at Nolan. And Trout, 3 ground balls, 0 for 3, and he'd come into this ball game with 4 straight multi-hit games. It's a big first out. That'll bring up Upton. Justin is 1 for 2. Justin Upton traded at the deadline last year to the Angels. And Detroit was kind of moving all their big salaries. Upton redid his deal at the end of last year.
He's still just 30 years of age.
Isn't that something? Because we've been calling his name for a long time, but he got here before he could buy a drink legally.
2007, his first year.
0-2, and on 3 pitches, the Gray Wolf with another strikeout. That's number 7.
Whatever John and Steve Foster talked about after the first inning, it's been money. Tight slider on the Subaru Supermo. That first inning, John threw 28 pitches. The second inning, 10 pitches. Third inning, 10 pitches. Fourth inning, 11 pitches. Fifth inning, 12 pitches. So you're thinking, wow, is he going to be able? How deep is he going to be able to go in this game after that first inning?
There's a strike, 0-1 on Pujols. Albert, a single in the first, and he struck out in the 4th inning. What a nice conversation with Albert today around the batting cage. He's always been personable and approachable. He's great with fans. He's great with his colleagues in baseball. Here's the 1-1. That's a nasty pitch. 1-2.
I just like how humble he is.
Very humble. And he said, I asked him if he was feeling any anxiety with trying to reach 3,000. He said, really not. He said, because I knew at some point I'm going to get the hit. He said, when I started to feel it was this on the ground foul, was the last day in Anaheim before they went to Seattle, because he really desperately wanted to produce the hit naturally at home in front of an Angel sellout crowd and all the great fans there in Anaheim. Didn't work out that way. It happened in Seattle. Here's the 1-2, and that curveball just low. 2-2. We did a tease at the top of the broadcast. That's what it's known as in the business. We're talking about the Rockies being hot, and then look who's in town, the premier player in the game, and the guy who used to be looked upon as the best player in the game, Pujols. Swung on and missed. Big job. His 8th strikeout. He has been on a roll since that first inning. Rockies leading 1-0. Challenge question. Go to AT Sportsnet RM on Twitter to cast your vote. We'll get to it during the post-game show. It's Teacher Appreciation Day. Boy, we need to do more of that. What type of teacher had the biggest impact on you? Was it an elementary school teacher, middle school, high school, college professor? Trevor Story, high and deep right field. Flash near the corner. It's a fair ball. And Story is heading towards third. He'll have a triple easily. Second triple of the season for the Rocky shortstop.
Off the bat, it was high, and where Jabari Blash likes to play, he's more shallow in right field. The Trevor kind of gives it a opposite lean than you saw from Carlton Fisk. He was saying, well, is that going to stay fair? What's it going to do? And Jabari has to pull up. He got lucky that this ball kisses off the wall, but then drops right back down, allowing Trevor to get into third with a triple, leadoff triple.
Ian Desmond, the infield, sort of halfway. Desmond a strikeout looking, and a comebacker off the end of the bat. Nobody out, bottom of 6. Rockies up 1-0. One.
He had 4 for his last 11 with runners in scoring position. He had started the year 2 for 18.
Now, despite a 188 average, he has hit 6 home runs, driven in 16. Trying to get number 17 right here. 2-1.
And for Trevor at third too, you really only have a couple choices if you take off. First you have to see it by the pitcher towards the second base or shortstop. You're not going on the corners or back to the pitcher.
That's outside. Good eye by Desmond. Staying patient here. 3-1. clubhouse mantra of late has been April showers bring May power. Rockies unbeaten in the month of May.
It's one of two teams. It's that way. The Yankees are 6-0.
The Yankees have lost one game in the last 2.5 weeks.
And they're up on Boston right now, 3-2 in the 8th.
Three and two on Desmond. One out. And now Parra will try to get Story to the plate.
Now I think they'll bring the infield in.
Fifth strikeout for Haney. One of the things the Rockies have done a better job of. Number one reason they've been winning a lot of games lately has been their starting pitching. The bullpen on the plus side's been great. They've gotten some key hits, but they've cut down on the strikeouts for the most part. That was a tough one a moment ago.
When if you're wondering about the arms too for the Angels, you got strong arms in left and center field, but they're playing pretty deep.
They won't be a factor unless they're coming in
exactly,
on a ball that's short.
But the only reason I'm saying this is for that reason. If they're coming in, then Jabari Blash in right field has the, I say be careful. It's an average arm out there for a right fielder. The power arms are in left and center, but with one out, you're going.
You went 1-1. And you also have the luxury of having one of the fastest men in baseball at third base in Trevor Story.
When, too, for Upton and Mike Trout, they play extremely deep. So here's where you get it in play. Even a little bleeder is going to fall in behind the infield. That was the one that he could have been able to get in the air, the one up in the zone.
Parra, a strikeout and a comebacker. Another meeting at the mound. This will be the second for the Angels. Got to find a way to score a leadoff triple, especially in a game like this. 1-0. Haney's pitched very well. Graves just been a little better. 1-2. And this is fisted to shallow left. It'll work. 2-0 Colorado. Get it in play, right?
Well, that's what I was talking about. How deep those guys play. You get a little bleeder into just beyond the infield. That's all you have to do is try to make contact. Gerardo did. He's now 2 for 14 on the season with runners in scoring position. Ball up by his neck on the Subaru Supermo. Didn't hit it real hard, but it found some green grass out there. Rockies take a 2-0 lead.
And that'll bring up Noel Cuevas. He had a sharp single to center in the 4th inning, 1 for 2. It's always a teaching moment.
Yeah. We've been discussing some strategy, what he was thinking with the infield, where they were playing.
And this goes to the backstop, and now Parr at a second on a wild pitch.
Wells trying to say it hit his foot. They're saying his right foot. Yeah, it did hit his foot.
Yeah, no question. Yeah, they'll go take a look at it.
Better look on the overhead. The other shot probably is the best angle. Oh, it's been ruled on. Was hit by a pitch.
And now we'll get Charlie Nagy coming out.
Nobody's up in the Angels bullpen right now. Well, we have a minute. I want to tell you that registration is now open for the 2018 Colorado Rockies Youth Baseball Camp for boys and girls age 8 to 13. Spots are limited, so go to Rockies.com/community today and sign up for the Youth Baseball Camp.
It's Ramirez up for the Angels. Tony, an infield hit and a soft line drive to short. Parra at second, Cuevas at first, a run in. Story led the inning off with a triple to the right field corner. Rockies up 2-0. 2 against the Angels, 4 against the Brew Crew. They're coming in on Thursday.
Chassine's going to open up on Thursday for Milwaukee.
Yeah, Joey Chassin, the former Rocky who always pitched well at Coors Field. Walters a 2-0 count to work with. And he drives this to center field. Trout coming on. Parr's got to get back. Parr red hit off the bat, but it was hit so well it hung up for Trout, and he doubles off. Parr at second base. Little base running error from Gerardo, but he knocked in the Rockies' second run. 2-0 going to the 7th.
2-0 as we head to the top of the 7th. Tonight is a Toyota Talk 25. We're looking at the top 25 Rockies. This is number 21. We asked Pedro Estacio, what are your thoughts about the current Rockies rotation? It's a good rotation. Last year they went to the playoffs, almost the majority of what they are now, so there's a good future for the starting pitchers for a long time. The reveal for number 20 next week. Good friend of ours, Garrett Atkins, Rockies third baseman between 2003, 2009, 289 career batting average, 98 home runs, 479 RBIs, and had a breakout year in 2006. He is one heck of a golfer, boys.
Line drive just over the head of Ian Desmond, a leadoff single for Andrelton Simmons in the 7th inning. That's the first time a leadoff man has reached against John.
It was off the top of Ian's glove.
Hey Spilly, did you tell Garrett that he's number 21?
He's number 20.
Number 20, I mean.
I have not told him that was the big reveal, Drew. We just gave it away. We just told him he's watching right now, and he just found out he's in the top 20. He's going to join us next week, Drew. He's going to phone in.
He's going to phone in. Good.
We'll have him next week.
Can he just drive up from Castle Rock, or is he?
No, we're going to be on the road.
We're on the road, Huey. We're in San Diego.
I'm at home. I'm working in the studio. My bad.
Yeah.
Have fun, guys.
Yeah. We'll be in San Diego. He can come join you.
There we go.
Downtown. Zach Cozart.
Watch.
Look out, Dino. Rockies get Brian Shaw loose.
John, after that base running by Gerardo's due to lead off next inning.
If you guys want to tweet at Garrett Atkins for next week, it's at AT&T Sportsnet Rocky Mountain, and do the hashtag Toyota Talk 25.
Gotcha. Good pitch. 1-2.
Nice job out there tonight, Spilly.
Yeah. I'm going to go wave at the fans.
We'll be watching. We'll check you out on the float when you come by. Cozart again pulls it foul. Cozart played shortstop in Cincinnati. That spot's taken by the guy who's at first base, so they moved him to third.
It was really his wife, too, that convinced him to go ahead and move over and play third, so he could play on a team that had a chance to win. He was talking to her about it, and she said, well, played shortstop, I get that, but Angels are a good team.
Yeah, he's coming off the best year of his career. Hit 297, 24 jacks last year for Cincinnati, a career high. Matched his career high with 63 driven in. John's gotten a lot of ground balls tonight. Not on that pitch. 3-2.
He's at 9 ground ball outs tonight. Just one fly out, but none of those fly outs have been to the outfield.
Simmons goes, and they'll have to go to first with it. Nolan makes the play, 1 out. And that'll bring up Jabari Blash.
10 ground ball outs for John.
And they're going to pull Blash back, and they're going to pinch hit Shohei Ohtani. And this is what a lot of the crowd wanted to see, and it's a big Coors Field crowd tonight. And Steve Foster's going to go out. They'll just go over scouting report, I'm sure, again,
yes,
with Ohtani.
Yeah. He's been everything that's advertised for Ohtani.
And the interesting thing is, in spring training, there was conversation in the media, at least, not within the Angels, or at least we weren't. If there was private conversation behind closed doors. It was never made public. But, you know, there's some people suggesting maybe he'd have to go to the minor leagues because he struggled offensively in spring training. And he struggled on the mound. In fact, remember that game Ian Desmond hit 2 home runs off him in Tempe.
On the mound this year, he's 3-1 with a 4.10 ERA. Then, as you see there, 339, 4 home runs, 14 RBIs.
He's leading him in hitting, or second leading hitter at 339 to Simmons 350.
And oh, by the way, he was American League Player of the Month.
For rookies.
For rookies, yes.
Yeah. So Shohei Ohtani pinch hitting for Blash, because Ohtani is a pitcher hitter. There's actually 6 position players on the bench for the Angels. That is most unusual. No swing.
And an American League team with 6 position players on the bench.
I can't recall
You know,
ever seeing that.
I mean, you could almost get away with 3 guys in the American League.
Yeah, you haven't seen that in years. Ohtani, Tardy. 1-1. This guy in certain respects is reminiscent of the guy who closes games for the Yankees, Aroldis Chapman, from this regard. Big man who throw exceptionally hard, run unbelievably well. In the case of Chapman, we know he's not a two-way player, but when he was in Cuba, and even here in the States, when he takes batting practice occasionally, especially when he was with the Reds, people would say he has the most power on the Cincinnati Reds.
Well,
and Ohtani, we were talking to Chris Young this afternoon, the veteran big leaguer who's now with the Angels, and he said, you know, on a team with Trout, on a team with Pujols, on a team with Upton, the guy who has the most natural power is Ohtani. 2-1. 3-1.
he hit a couple balls into the 3rd deck during batting practice and got an ovation. You don't hear that much during batting practice.
Yeah, he went off the railing of the rooftop. Cargo goes up there. 2-0 Colorado, 1 out. Runner at second, 3-1. It's right at Ian Desmond. He's going to race to the bag, and going to third is Simmons. Look, as he, you know, jogs back, you get a feel for just how big he is.
Well, anytime you have these start matchups, you just like to see how pitchers are going to pitch to somebody. For John against Ohtani, the first pitch was a fastball up. He took it for ball 1, then a swinging strike. Swung through a 95. Fastball inside, a 95, then slider down. And then here's 97, try to hit it. Got sawed off, ground out, 2nd out of the inning.
Maldonado has one of the 4 hits tonight. And this ball's lifted to left field, playable out there for Parra. He's got it, and John Gray navigates the 7th inning safely. 7 shutout innings for Big John. 2-0 Colorado. pitching performance. John Gray, with 2 outs in the first, struggled a little bit. A couple hits and a walk. Went 3-2 on Zach Kozar. He struck out Kozar, and from that point forward, he was virtually unhittable. 7 shutout innings for John Gray, 8 strikeouts, and after the first inning, only 2 base runners. A single with 1 out to Maldonado in the 5th. The leadoff hit to Simmons in the 7th, but he was ultimately stranded at 3rd. And now John Gray will give way. The Rockies will go to David Dahl as it's 9-1-2 for Colorado here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Drew Goodman, Jeff Houston, Ryan Spilborghs. Noe Martinez is now in the game. Ramirez is now in the game.
Pitched on Sunday, and for Ramirez, fastball, changeup, slider combination, and
this is an easy play for Pujols. So Dahl's retired, and that'll bring up LeMahieu. Haney pitched well. He just drew a tougher bolt.
See the numbers on Noe. It's Sunday in Seattle. 2/3 of an inning. As I mentioned, not an overpowering pitcher. About 90 miles an hour he'll average on the fastball. Changeups 84, slider around 78.
DJ an RBI single in the 3rd to drive in the Rockies' initial run. Give you some numbers on John Gray the last 3. This is rolled towards Simmons. 2 outs. John Gray, his last 3 outings, 20 innings pitched, 1 run allowed, so he has an 0.45 ERA. Just 10 hits allowed. 25 strikeouts, 3 walks.
And that's the difference. The first pitch strike. I think that's been key for John. Tonight he had 10 ground ball outs. And the other thing that the Rockies pitchers, the starters, have done now, they've set a club record. 9 straight quality starts.
Yeah, in 2006, 2009, they had stretches of 8 straight quality starts. And now with the outing by Gray, 9 in a row. Their last 12, the starting pitcher's ERA will go down from a 1.71. It's inside. 1 ball, 1 strike on Charlie. Blackman 0 for 2 and a walk. Starting pitchers, Huey, the last 75 and a third. 77 strikeouts, 14 walks.
Wow. It's like whatever you can do, I can do better. They're just having some fun out there now.
That's not fluky. I mean, you have a young
2 or 3 games is
rotation.
fluky.
Yeah, you have a young rotation with guys that have outstanding stuff. 2-1, 3-1. When you talk to hitters, one of the difficult parts of interleague play happens in the latter part of games because there's typically a great unfamiliarity with the bullpen arms. Unless a guy had spent a lot of time in the National League, say for the Rockies, and then went over to the American League.
There's really nobody on this list for the Angels that would be the case.
You know, Jim Johnson's a veteran guy, but he was with Baltimore. Yeah. Nolan coming up with Charlie aboard. That new ERA for the starters over the last 12, 155. Rockies have it set up. They'll use Adam Ottavino naturally next inning. And then the plan to hand it to Wade Davis in the 9th. Yankees did hold on and beat the Red Sox tonight 3-2. Big series at Dodger Stadium. Arizona leading in the 2nd inning 2-1 over LA.
Arizona just keeps finding a way to win.
That's a great way to describe it.
He's done with his warm-up tosses. He's ready.
Here's the 1-0 to Nolan. They pitch out, and Charlie made a turn like he was going to go and quickly shut it down.
Maybe he saw that something was amiss. Well, sometimes you just have that sixth sense as a base stealer.
Kind of unusual, isn't it? There, you got one of the great sluggers in the game at the plate. There's 2 outs that you'd pitch out on a 1-0 pitch.
Yeah, so he's ahead in the count now, 2-0.
Yeah. And a base hit to center field. And Charlie is going to go first to third. And here comes Trevor Story.
2018 has special theme day ticket packages for everyone, including Star Wars Nights, Brew Fest, Faith Day, and the newest theme nights, Beatles Tribute, and Margaritaville Tribute. Visit Rockies.com/themes for more information.
Trevor tonight a walk in the 2nd, grounded into a force out in the 3rd, and then hit an opposite field triple last inning and scored the Rockies' 2nd run.
And that was on the base hit by Gerardo. The Rockies tonight 2 for 5 with runners in scoring position.
Inside on Story. Going to get another meeting at the mound.
2 left. I think this is more of a discussion. Not sure why they would have to have a meeting about this and where they're going to throw it. If Nolan were going to take off, that'd be a sign that you would be able to get from your manager, Mike Scioscia.
And if Nolan takes off,
I think we'll be a little.
We'll all be a little startled.
Uh-huh.
Those are 2 pretty good hitters right there.
Albert still takes swings every day off the tee. That's how he starts his day.
Part of his routine. Good eye. 2-0 on Story. Rockies trying to snap a 9-game losing streak to the Angels. They haven't beaten them, folks, at Coors Field. I know they don't come in every year, but the last time they beat them at Coors Field was 1999.
Ooh.
It's like a different century, wasn't it, Huey?
Well, I know how long ago it was because I was still playing.
Oh, it was like 2 centuries. It was 2 centuries ago then. Boy, a 2-out knock here would be large.
Ooh, yes, it would.
Went off speed. 2-2.
It doesn't have to be a scorcher. I mean, we get enthralled by exit velocity off the bat. You know how hard Gerardo's base hit was off the bat?
47 miles an hour.
A little bit higher, but not much. 64 miles an hour.
But it worked.
Yes.
Noé Ramirez, 2-2 count to Trevor Story. Blackman at third, Arenado at first. Base hit to left, down the line. Arenado is going to get a green light. Throw to the plate. Safe. If it stands, it's 4-0 Colorado on the double by Story, who moved to third on the throw.
I don't think Mike Scioscia has anything to lose by asking for a replay this late in the game, but Trevor coming through with at least one so far. Stayed on that slider, then the throw from Simmons.
Let's see if the foot. Ooh, he's out.
Ooh,
Yeah.
what? Did he get his fingers on the Subaru Supermo right before he goes in? No, I don't think so.
Maybe not.
No, he's safe.
He is safe.
Missed the tag.
He missed the tag.
That's safe.
That's an unbelievable look. The first look, you go, oh, he's out. He tagged his hand. And now the crowd seeing the second angle. They oohed on the first time, but now they're celebrating. He missed the tag.
Yeah, he missed it. I thought he might catch his fingers on the way by.
Look, that angle, you say, oh, okay.
Safe.
That's a great job by Jordan Baker.
Waiting until he sees the play. Never tags him, never tags him. Hand on the plate.
And on the plate.
And then he tags him. He's safe.
That other angle, you think, oh, wow, he's out.
And the strings of the glove don't count.
Right.
Safe.
Safe. 4-0 Colorado. Two-run double for Story. RBIs 22 and 23. That's why Nolan was laughing. He knew he missed the tag.
Trevor now 321 with runners in scoring position. The Rockies on the evening 3 for 6.
Here's Ian Desmond.
Again, props to our cameraman and truck. That was just a wonderful look on that. Brian Peters with that shot. Way to go, BP.
There's Brian. Brian's unique. He puts that camera on his back and walks home with it and then brings it the next day.
Just a little minor workout.
Puts it under his arm, actually. Walks home with it. Brings it back the next day because he's an honest guy. 1-1 on Desmond. Clutch two-run double by Story. Two balls, two strikes. And Desmond goes down. Story gives the Rockies a nice cushion. They're up 4-0 as we march off to inning number 8. Nice job on the hand placement by Nolan. Cooney, Lexus look back. That is DJ LeMahieu knocking in the Rockies' first run. It was Tony Walters, single and a sacrifice to get him to scoring position. And then Gerardo Parra with a little sand wedge, 60-degree wedge to bring home the second run. And then just a few minutes ago, two-out double from Trevor Story. And the Rockies double their lead from 2 to 4 runs. Great slide again. The missed initial tag. Nolan ruled safe. It stood up as it should. And now the Rockies will hand the baseball to Adam Ottavino. Luis Valbuena will be the pinch hitter in the 9 spot for the Angels.
Last time Adam was out on the hill was Sunday afternoon and locking down the 3-0 sweep of the Mets.
Yeah, he was in a save situation for the first time since 2016. And he struck out the side. Reason Davis wasn't used, he had pitched on Friday and Saturday, and Friday in particular he threw, I believe, 29 pitches, 28 or 29. So
it was 29.
They stayed away from him on Sunday. Valbuena pops it up, and this is going to be close. Nolan gets there, 1 out.
Well, speaking of Nolan, let's go back to the StatCast brought to you by Subaru, and I'm talking about Nolan from first to home. Picking him up and putting him down 10.82 seconds.
Fastest of anybody in baseball this year. That should be.
But it was just the last, tenth of a second that really mattered, putting that hand down before the tag.
Quite as fast as Story or say Billy Hamilton would get around the bases, but he got there in time.
That's right.
And Kinsler 0 for 3. 1 ball, 1 strike. Rockies came in 5-0 in May. We talked about the Yankees being unbeaten. They're now 7-0 in May, but the Angels 5-1 in May. This is team that has played well all season long.
21
Mike Scioscia coming into Coors Field this evening.
Yeah, the 21-13 coming in. They snuck a half game ahead of the Houston Astros.
Two, 2-2. I give Artie Moreno a lot of credit for knowing that he has a really good manager and a good man that have high integrity, and even in the handful of years it didn't go the Angels' way, says it's not about the manager. We got our guy. And so now 19 seasons he's been on the top step of the dugout. Too often
he's 21st all time now in wins.
Yeah, too often blame is cast where it shouldn't be. 3-2, and there's a little nubber. Adams got it, and he'll tag out Kinsler. 2 outs. And that'll bring up Mike Trout. Well, the first 4 in that lineup, Kinsler, Trout, Upton, Pujols, they have like 6,000 home runs combined and 7,000 doubles. Actually, they have 1,330 career home runs, so I wasn't exaggerating by much. I mean, Kinsler's 235, Trout 213, Upton 262, and then Alberts hit 620. And tonight they have 2 measly singles between them. An Upton single in the first and a Pujols single in the first. Kinsler's 0 for 4. Trout has hit it on the ground to the left side 3 times. Twice to Story and once to Arenado. 1-0.
You talk about interleague play and how difficult it is on hitters trying to face pitchers that they don't see very often. I mean, Adam's not a treat to begin with, and now you've never seen him. Or you might have seen him in spring training. But that's it. Now you try to have to hit the slider. Good luck.
That's outside 3-0 on Trout. Trout came into the ball game 12 for his last 21 at Coors Field. And he just drew a 4-pitch walk.
And the first 10,000 fans to the gates for the Rockies-Brewers game on Saturday will receive a Rockies toothbrush courtesy of Delta Dental.
So here's Upton, the single in the first and then 2 strikeouts against Gray. John went 7 innings, no runs, 4 hits. He struck out 8 and he walked 1. Strike 1. Gray threw 99 pitches. Trout takes off. Walters throws, not going to get him. Trout's got his 7th stolen base. He's yet to be caught this year.
18th stolen base for the Angels. 18 of 21. Just got a big jump.
Got a big jump and he's really fast.
Yeah, he's got good wheels.
1-1. Uh-oh. That's a fair ball. 2-run home run for Upton. And now it's 4-2. 7th home run for Justin Upton. You're almost in shock. You just don't see anybody swinging the bat, especially from the right side against Ottavino this year. That's the first home run he's allowed.
Well, just the 6th hit allowed for Adam. We get it. Inside slide on the Subaru Supermo.
It's one of the rare sliders he's thrown that didn't do much.
Yeah, just kind of spun. That's right at Crash's camera, I believe, out there in left field. Yeah, it is. The Crash.
Went 438 feet off the bat of Justin Upton. Now Pujols with a 1-0 count. So the Rockies have their lead cut in half. Upton's 2-run home run will go to the bottom of the 8th, 4-2 Colorado. Cam is brought to you by the Lodge Casino, your first choice for fun. And picture day is always a lot of fun. I was taken this afternoon. Buddy orchestrating things for the Rockies. They're right out there in front of the fountains. They fired up the fountains. Jenny was very pleased. She said, fire up the fountains. They did. There's your team picture for 2018. Buddy had a funny line. I asked him about I said, what did you go with today? Did you go with the smile or the game face? He said, you went game face today.
Straight game face.
Straight game face, yeah.
Hands on the knees, game face.
Gerardo Parra against Blake Parker here in the 8th. Rockies have Wade Davis warming. It's another strike. 0-2. Parra tonight. That single in the 6th inning to bring home Trevor Story. Big run at that point because it was just a 1-0 game before Story scored. Rockies expanded it to 4-0, and then the 2-run home run by Upton. So now it's 4-2 here in the bottom of the 8th. Cuevas to follow Parra.
Parker channels his inner Ryan Dempster when he comes set. Just takes a while, shakes the glove.
The glove shake of Ryan Dempster. And at some point in time, he incorporated that. So young pitchers sometimes, when they're going to get the grip of the curveball,
well, that's
or anything
why
off speed, they give it away because they're in the glove so long. Well, if you do it on every pitch, hitter can't guess off speed.
Well, too, for Parker, he's got the piece of leather on the outside portion of his glove, because a lot of people like to stick their index finger out of the glove. But the way the pitchers combat that, then they'll put another piece of leather over the top of that. And that's exactly what Parker has done right there.
One and 2 on Gerardo. 2-2. Interesting defensive alignment in the outfield. Jabari Blash is 100 meters, not quite, but he seems like 100 meters from the right field foul line. In other words, if Parra pulled it down the line, it's going to be an easy triple.
It's like a pull right-handed hitter positioning.
3-2. Walters after Cuevas, and then the pitcher spot. Carlos Gonzalez getting ready. And a strikeout of Parra. Who Wants Tacos fans, follow us at AT&T Sportsnet RM on Twitter to receive alerts for the Rockies Taco Special when the Rockies score 7 or more runs. Cuevas tonight. Another solid day offensively. 1 for 2, and he's hit by a pitch, so he's been on a couple times. Four runs, 7 hits, no errors for the Rockies. They had the second best defense by percentage, fielding percentage in baseball. 2 runs, just 5 hits for the Angels. They have not committed an error.
The Angels were 2nd in the American League in fielding percentage, 5th in all of baseball. 2 of the top teams that don't give you extra outs.
Well, it starts up the middle, doesn't it? As they
Yes, it
always say.
does.
Story for the Rockies. It's short. And LeMahieu.
Charlie in
Simmons,
center.
Charlie in center. This is pulled foul. Simmons, the three-time Gold Glover at shortstop for the Angels. Mike Trout in center field. I had Chris Young describe him and said it's just amazing because he's playing with him for the first time, and he watched him from afar. He sees just the most natural baseball player he's ever seen.
As I said, that's all he wants to do. He doesn't worry about all the other hype, all the other
The endorsement stuff.
marketing.
Yep.
He just wants to play ball.
And he said he just naturally, he works very hard, obviously, he said, but he's naturally very gifted, and he's naturally just a really good guy.
Great combination.
Yeah.
That's a great Trout hat too.
Yeah.
I must admit. You know, not sure I would wear it, but looks good on him.
2-2. And Cuevas bounces this to third. 2 outs. Davis in the 9th inning. We'll see Simmons, Cozart. And we'll see. Looks like it'll probably be Chris Young. One 1-0 on Tony Walters. Base hit, 2 lineouts tonight for Tony. Last time up, he hit the ball on the nose. It hung up too long in center field. Trout made the catch, and he doubled off Parra, who was at second. Ground ball toward the hole. Diving stop. Kinsler, and he'll get the out. That's a terrific play. Speaking of up the middle defense by the veteran Ian Kinsler. So we'll go to the 9th inning. Wade Davis time. Trying to get 3 more outs and allow the Rockies to shake hands at Coors Field. Baseball on AT&T Sportsnet is brought to you by Subaru. Love, it's what makes a Subaru. And by Jack in the Box, try the new Cholula Buttery Jack, part of the Buttery Jack family, only at Jack in the Box. Rockies lead 4-2. They need 3 more outs. They're going to ask Wade Davis naturally to get them. And before he goes to work, We're going to check in with our friends in center field, Jenny and Corey. Hi, Jenny.
Hey, Drew. Can't wait to talk about the historic mark for Rockies pitching coming up, but I also can't wait to hear what Corey has to say about this offense that we've been asking at home to get going.
Well, you want to hit with runners in scoring position or get 2 out RBIs. I think they did them both tonight, but more importantly, I want to talk about picking up your teammates and how important it is. We'll show you how Gerardo Parra picked up Ian Desmond. It'll be great.
I can't wait. That's coming up on the Toyota postgame show first, the top of the ninth. Drew, Huey will send it back to you.
All right, guys, thank you. So Davis is set to face Andrelton Simmons. Simmons has a hit and a walk. And the only time the Rockies got him out, it took a spectacular play by DJ LeMahieu. So here's the former Brave Simmons. Wade looking for his 14th save.
Yeah, the 13 saves right now are first in the National League and tied for first in all of baseball.
Got a little equipment issue for Tony. Now Tony's got
ready to go.
His gear all strapped up. League hitting 143 against Davis. He drops a curveball in the lap of Simmons. It's 0-1. Third season in an Angels uniform for Simmons. One and two. He's hit better in the American League. In Atlanta, he hit 248, 244, 265 in his first 3 full seasons in the big leagues. First year with the Angels, he had 281. Last year, 278. In 158 games, and this year second in the league right now at 350 coming in.
Yeah, only Mookie Betts is hitting higher going into tonight's game. He was hitting 355.
This may surprise you. This is how good Simmons was last year. He was voted by his teammates co-MVP with the center fielder Mike Trout. 1 and 2 on Simmons, and he bounces this one to short. Good job by Trevor Story. I know you appreciate how he came and got it.
Came and got it. Don't play yourself into a bad hop. You create the good hop, and that's what Trevor did. You see it off the bat. Now you make that decision. Come get it, and then you also close the distance. Make it just about a 90-foot throw. Easy. Going for Trevor and the all-important leadoff guy out in the bottom of the ninth or top of the ninth inning.
Especially in a 2-run game. Zach Kozar to strike out, and he's played Pepper a couple times with Nolan Arenado. He's lost both times. 1-0. This toward the hole, and it's going to find its way into left field. So a base hit for Kozart, and Cole Calhoun is going to come on and pinch hit. We talked about near the top of the broadcast, who's normally a starter, especially against right-handed pitchers. He's really been in a funk.
He's 5 for his last 50+ at bats in the big leagues. 52.
I'm trying to help you out. You're not reading my hieroglyphics.
Now 58. Excuse me. 5 for his last 58.
Yeah. That's a slump.
That is. But he's got power.
0-1. This was Young's spot in the lineup. He had come in to play right field. And Mike Scioscia again with a deep bench. With Calhoun has struggled. Young hit a home run on Sunday to start, but he wanted the lefty to face the right-handed Wade Davis.
Young had been 0 for 3 his previous matchups with Wade. Calhoun does own 1 home run off of Wade. Scioscia playing the percentages.
Just missed. 2-1. Four-2 Colorado in the 9th. 1 out and 1 on. Zach Cozart at first.
Nasty cutter at 94. This is what Wade has the ability to do. Calhoun tried to open the hips up to get to it. It's just a better pitch.
Well, we've described it before. It's not the normal 2-pitch mix you get from closers.
Curveballs in there. Sliders.
2-2. And the Rockies turn this. There's one on the first. Double play. Ball game over. And the Rockies snap a 9-game slide against the Angels. And they make it 6 straight overall with a 4-2 victory in their return to Lodo. A 4-2 final. John Gray evens his record at 4-4, 7 shutout innings for Wade Davis. His 14th save. Andrew Haney takes the loss. Great to see the Rockies high-five it. Been a long time since the Rockies are home. As we go to Jenny Cavnar, they've played the fewest home games in baseball. They're now 6-7 in their home yard, and most importantly, that's 6 straight victories. Jenny, all yours.
Thanks, Drew, so much. It feels good to be home. It feels good to see the Rockies win. And hey, we had good weather to boot.
Yeah, and you know what? John Gray continued to pass the baton mentality. 9 quality starts. Incredible job. Timely hitting by the offense. That's usually a good formula.
Love that. Rockies bring that road mojo home to Coors Field. Plenty to talk about. It's all coming up on the Toyota Postgame Show.